Welcome to Textiles and the Triplett Sisters, and today we're going to be doing our Jewelry of the Month pin cushions. Now, you might be surprised, but yes, jewelry can be your pin cushion too. It's a dual function that way. Now, a colleague of mine at a retreat I was attending gave me a ring that was to be used as a pin cushion. And I used it, tried it, and I do a lot of handwork and hand stitching. And while it was conveniently located, I did find that it made it a little heavy on the hand. If this is something that works for you, it's a very simple process. You make simply a sleeve, sew a seam, reverse it, and then make it the length that you want and gather it around and stuff it. And you're good to go. You can of course do that with a bracelet too and have your pin cushion be a bracelet. But I wanted something a little more fun and seasonable. And so I started toying with the idea of making brooches that would coordinate with the seasons, like this cute little snowman. And so I can then wear my snowman in the winter months and use him as a pin cushion. To do that, I'm going to take my fabric. You want to select what fabric you want. And you'll notice that it's easier if they don't have a lot of sharp points or angles to work with. So to start out with, I picked a nice rounded snowman, and then you just cut him out. And then be sure that you flip the design over to cut out the back. And you can cut out the back with similar fabric, or you can cut out the back with an entirely different fabric. Just use a plain white or whatever you think coordinates with that. Now, one of the things that I noticed about this particular project was that he was a little small for my fat finger to stuff in there. And so you may want to double check that you can comfortably turn it and stuff it. Particularly the hat portion was a bit noticeable. The other thing that I noticed when I was working on this particular cute little guy was that my clips, I use clips in my sewing, and because I had stuffed it so much, it was harder to get my clips on. So this one is perfect for a pin cushion, but not so good for my use with the clips. Once you have stitched around the guy, turned it, and then stuffed it, I just used some leftover batting that I had. Then you stitch the end that you left open, and then you need to pick out a brochure pin, and you can just brooch pin, excuse me. You can just get these at your local craft store, and they can come either the type that you sew on, which has these 3 holes, or you can get the type that glue on and has a little pad to stick it on. So whichever you prefer. I picked the sew on, and I just afterwards sewed it on my little snowman, and then he was ready to go. Now, I mentioned that you needed to be sure that when you cut out your subject, that you flipped your fabric over, particularly if it has a unique shape that isn't the same on both sides. When you go to make the back, you need to be sure that you have flipped your fabric over so that the unique part of the object goes in the direction so that you can easily sew it together. This obviously is for my fall leaves, and you can see the stage I'm at. I'm stuffing it. I will then need to stitch this shut, fold the ends in and stitch it shut, and then I'll need to do some quilting. I found that the quilting really helped in a couple of things. It adds, gives it more direction to the eye to show what it is, but it also allows me a place to have my clips. So here is another one that I did. This one is for my summer, and it is a sunflower, of course. And I have quilted parts of it, and so I can still use it to pin cushion. And because I quilted part of it, I didn't stuff all of it as much, because then I have a place for my clips. So I can use this one as both a clip holder and a pin cushion. Because I quilted it, I didn't necessarily want my stitches to show, and so I took some of that craft text that I have been using in other projects, and by using the craft text, I'll stitch that onto the back so it doesn't show my quilting, and then I can use the brooch pin that can just glue on instead of having to stitch that on if I want to save a little time. So there you have it, some different pin cushions that you can wear, or you can put on your design wall at home, or you can even hang this on your sewing machine as well. So don't forget to subscribe to our vlog as well as like it, and don't forget to pass it on to others. Have a fun and fabulous day.